morning, good evening, and good afternoon from wherever you're watching us from. It's your host, Jermaine Odhiambo, Wima Sports.
Michael Oloch, co-host.
And you know what? Wima Sports just found a new home, and this is Osoita Lodge, where guests become family.
Yeah, it's a very lovely place. You should come and view, come and have a meal or two. It's a very nice place. They have got very nice, tasty meals.
Apart from the meals, we have a serene environment right here. We have other services that they offer. If you need a massage and you need to steam off after a busy week, Osoita Lodge is the place to be. Apart from that, more details shall be found on our description box, where you shall find their social media sites, and we shall also link their contacts for you to get them direct.
Nice. You should watch, like, and prescribe. It's a very nice place. You'll not go wrong.
Definitely. And what a week it was in the sports industry. The past week was really busy, packed, man. The games were hot, competitive, and
highly entertaining.
Exactly. So just to start us off, we are going into the rugby world, and man,
it is a bad week for Kenya, but we still have the Lions. We have a strong heart. I know he'll make a comeback.
Definitely, there's a second week of HSBC coming right up in the Dubai, second week in the Dubai HSBC series. And just to take us through some of the news that came up, World Rugby has approved eligibility amendment to allow national switches as from January 2022. That means that any athlete now in the World Rugby IRB is able to switch their country to play for another country. But not just that. This happens by if your parent is from that country or if your grandparents are from that country. What do you think?
Do you think we can get a few players from Fiji?
Maybe Mike Friday. Maybe Mike Friday as a coach.
True. Okay. Very interesting.
On other news, England is preferred as the host for Rugby World Cup in 2025. And what do you think?
It will be very interesting. Mm-hmm. When our national team goes to England, we normally have mixed results, but I think this time around...
Definitely. On other news, also on rugby, should rugby clamp down on coaches as water carriers? It's been a contention in this issue because rugby, the coaches, the technical staff have been using this opportunity as they take water into the field. You know what you guys do.
You have to be smart. Even as coaches, I can signal for you to fake an injury. Mm-hmm. Just to get a couple of minutes to give you one or two tips on how to win the game. You have to be smart.
Just to take you through, guys, some of Rugby World created a tweet, and there was a question on how do you feel about coaches giving tactical messages to players on the pitch as water carriers? Definitely get rid of it, carried the day with 60.9%, and no fused lost by 39.1%. Let us get to know what the guideline says. What does the RFU guideline says about this particular issue so far? And it says that no more than 4 water carriers per team, including medical staff and replacement players, are permitted within the pitch side or perimeter fencing or other barrier. Water carriers may only be permitted onto the playing area for the purpose of taking water to the players at such times as shall be approved by the referee. And on any other occasion, players must come to the touch line to get water. Definitely, my take or my thought is, I don't think it's an issue, because even from the sidelines, as the players come to take water, I mean, the coach will still do his thing. What do you think?
You're smart. But what I know is that a coach doing that is not a big issue. If I do it and it works for me, I know you'll complain. But if you do it and it's working for you, I will complain. So for me, it's an issue of... the only question is it interfering with the game?
Yes.
If it's not interfering with the game, personally, I don't see any problem with it. Yeah, because even I can call a player in the middle of the game and I tell him run A or run B.
Yep.
Still works.
Yep. Yeah, definitely, people. And let us know what you think about that on the comment section. Let's engage and let's see what you people think. Should this ban come also to the Kenya rugby or not? Definitely, Kenya lost. Kenya finished position 7 in the HSBC. Just finished Dubai 1. Dubai 2 is coming up, and South Africa at least is flying the Pan-African flag high by beating USA in the finals 42-7, and so far South Africa leads the standings, followed by USA, Argentina by 22, 19 and 17 points respectively. Let's see what the ladies standing is like. Australia leads the standings, followed by Fiji and France to top the women's standings with 20, 18 and 16 points respectively. Moving forward, coach.
Yes. Let's go to football.
Yeah.
Football.
Take us through.
The past 1 week has been very interesting. We have had a couple of games. Let's start with the UEFA. Bayern beat Dynamo 2-1. It was a very interesting game. I thought Bayern will have a bigger margin, but it was a 2-1. And then Man United, Manchester beat Villarreal 2-0. Barcelona beat Benfica. Actually, Barcelona drew with Benfica. It was a surprise for me. I thought Barcelona will win that game, but I don't know what happened. Chelsea had a 4-0 against Juventus. We'll discuss that. We go to Spanish La Liga. Barcelona 3, the same Villarreal 1. I don't know what happened to UEFA. Maybe they underrated Villarreal in the UEFA League. Premier League was very highly entertaining. Arsenal 2, Newcastle 0. Shake my hand.
No, we need to talk about the Arsenal Liverpool game.
Let me tell you. Sometimes you have to lose to give other teams an opportunity.
Guys, I advised this Arsenal fan to bet on Liverpool, but he lost his money.
Let me tell you,
by betting on Arsenal.
I was like, we have to lose even before the game so that other teams can have opportunity.
Before the game?
Yes.
Arsenal fans, can you hear him? Before the game?
You don't win every single game.
Okay.
It makes your ego We'll debate this.
Take us through.
Liverpool had a 4-0 against Southampton. And then Man United 1, Chelsea 1. What happened? You told me that's a sure win.
Better draw than a loss, people.
No.
Better draw than a loss.
He told me this is a win. Actually, he told me that this season, the worst they can do is a draw, but we'll see.
Watch this space.
Man City 2, West Ham 1. The league is wide open. That's what I can say.
Yeah, sure.
And it will be very interesting towards the end of the league. So I'm really eager to see how it will turn out. But I told you, Arsenal are looking at 1-2. Yes. And then there's one area that we normally neglect. The ladies. We had one friendly. Iceland versus Japan. Iceland won the game. I never knew that Iceland had a good team, but I was shocked also. But they are a good team. 2-0. And then World Cup qualifiers for the ladies. Spain 12.
The ladies are putting in the numbers. You guys start watching the ladies' games. The international friendlies, man, the scores are crazy. I was even confused. Are we watching rugby sevens or is it soccer? Football.
How do you beat a team 12? Is it okay? And then we had Norway 7, Albania 0. Those are big numbers.
Those are huge numbers.
Yeah. And then Belgium had 19. Oof. Armenia 0, 19. Northern Highland had 11. North Macedonia had 0. Those are big numbers.
Now, do you think, is it right for a team to beat another team 19-0?
You know, that has been
sports.
That has been a debate in the sports world for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And the big question that most people normally ask, should I take one and yet you didn't prepare your team? It's a big debate. And
what's the spirit of sportsmanship like?
Me, on my view, my personal opinion is that if I know that this is a sure win, I don't need to take it to that extreme end.
Yeah.
I just need to take that in, because either way, it's either I'm getting 2 points or 1 point. It's not like if I beat you 21, they're going to give me 5 points.
Yep.
But it has been a debate in the sports world for a very long time. And by the look of things, that debate will never get an answer.
Let's see what you guys think also in the comment section. Let us know what you think about that.
Yes. Now we go to basketball.
Oh, yes. The basketball leagues have been really hot this week. I mean, the Phoenix Suns are on a 17 winning streak, and they are thumping their position to top the Western Conference League. And so far, in the 2021-2022 season, they are the only team that has the highest winning streak. That is 17 wins so far. On other news, James Harden, we saw Brooklyn Nets improve and come up also from their position they were in the last standings, and now they're also at position 1 just because of role playing. And James Harden was able to realize this, and he said trying to figure out when to score, he needs to try to figure out when to score and when to be a playmaker, and this has really steered Brooklyn Nets to improving in their standings position and being where they need to be. You remember I told you they'll be back. I was sure they're going to figure it out. Not to forget, before you talk about Brooklyn.
Now, actually you're having a debate this week about the foul that, the ejection call that was given to LeBron. I was telling him my take. If I was the ref, I could have given a foul and an ejection. And he was telling me that was not a foul, it was simply an ejection. Do you remember that? Actually debated for like 1 hour. Remember
I remember.
Yes.
I remember, but people, we won't get into that debate, because when we debate it, we might keep you here for 2 hours.
Okay.
Now let's leave it at that, and let me tell you more news. Steph Curry is rising to top as others take flight on the Kia MVP ladder. So far, Steph Curry is the dominant person up there to be the Kia MVP. The season is still wide open. Let's see how it goes. What do you think?
True. Let's go to local. I'll not say local per se, I'll say African basketball. The past 1 week has been very entertaining, especially for the ladies' side. Our 2 representatives, which were KPA and Equity, did us proud when they went for Zone 5. Actually, they managed to beat all teams. And they met in the finals. The finals was a little bit crazy, because I expected it to be a close game, but KPA took the day with a 71-35 thrashing of Equity. They were playing a game in their own league, and it was more of Equity chasing after KPA, which was a little bit crazy, but I'm still proud of the ladies. I think that's a good sign that Kenyan basketball is going up. What do you think?
Yep. I think if KPA retains the team they went with to Zone 5, they'll lift the Kenyan Cup so easy.
True.
They'll lift the Kenyan Cup so easy.
True.
There's no one to match them. They're unmatchable. That's with the Zone 5 team.
True.
Let's see how it goes. I don't know if they'll retain it. And stay tuned. One of them might be here with us.
True. It will be interesting, because I'm also eagerly waiting to see how they're going to perform in the club championship.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And away from the ladies, we go to World Cup qualifiers. Two pools were playing, and the results are so interesting, because Nigeria managed to beat Mali 72-10. Angola beat Guinea 75-59. Uganda didn't so well. They beat Kevad 77-74. Our team, which is in Pool D, have not yet started playing. They're Kenya, Senegal, Egypt, and we are waiting to see how they're going to perform. I know right now the coach is taking notes of how the other teams are playing, putting a little bit of strategy here and there, which will be a good plus for us. Yes. And today we have a special guest. Maybe Jermaine, you can fill us in.
Definitely. Before we talk about our guest, Coach Mike, what do you think about Uganda? I mean, Uganda is really stepping up in sports in East Africa, Rwanda as well. If we look at football, if we look at basketball, they just ended 3-on-3 university first two games. I mean, Uganda, both ladies and men, lifted the cup so easy in Kenyan soil at USIU Africa. And do you think, apart from Kenya, apart from rugby and athletics, we are losing grip of sports in East Africa, man?
I'll be honest with you. My take is that we have not reached that point where we value sports. The minute you value sports, you're going to invest in it. You're going to make sure that the young coming generation, you mentor them in a way that they're going to be dominating, not only in Africa or East Africa, but in the whole world. If you take an example of teams like Angola, I remember in the 90s, Angola was not that big. They were not that good in basketball, for example, but they invested in young players. They invested in structures. They invested in the development of skills. They invested in their coaches, and they were patient enough to allow their system to grow. It reached a point whereby right now they're not worried about investing. They're simply allowing the system to run itself. That is the direction I think in Kenya is supposed to be heading to.
Definitely. People, stay tuned. We are having a guest with us today. It's a guest who is really great. They've done a lot and they've qualified for a really big match that he shall be telling us about, and you shall know about him in a few. Stay tuned.
True.
Yes, we had told you about our guest, and he is here. He's none other than Dean Wamema. Karibu.
Asante.
So Dean is, as you can see, he's in his official regalia. These are national teams, people who are flying our flags high as Kenya, and people who we are always proud of as we see them make our national anthem be sung out there. He's a assistant team manager to the Deaf basketball national team. And they just finished their Kenya Deaf basketball qualifiers, Africa Deaf basketball qualifiers that just happened. Is it a few months ago? How many?
Yeah, September.
Around September, yes. That is in September. And do you know, they were champions. I'm humbled to sit next to a champion. They were champions of the Africa Deaf basketball qualifiers, and they were qualifying for the Deaf Olympics that will be happening in Brazil, May 2022, and it's time to carnival. Anyways, karibu Dean.
Asante.
So maybe if you tell us a little about yourself, just generally who you are generally.
Dean Wamema. Actually, I've been coaching Kajiado Deaf basketball team for now around a year, and it has been a great journey. Just being able to work with the deaf is quite amazing. I've always had a soft spot for PWDs, and when I got this opportunity, I didn't even think twice. I felt like I have to do this, and we have been able to make quite some progress, and I'm really happy.
Maybe our viewers are wondering what's PWD.
Or persons with disabilities.
Yeah, persons with disabilities. So people, so Dean, how did basketball start in your life before you got into coaching?
Actually, I started playing basketball when I was in high school. And
Which high school?
Kibabi High School.
Kibabi.
In Western, in Bungoma.
Oh,
actually.
nice.
Yeah. So that's where I built my passion. And I really had a good coach who really mentored me and helped me to grow in basketball. Yeah, and I really thank him. He's called Mr. Dan Nyende.
Dan Nyende.
Yes.
We appreciate you, Dan.
Yeah.
See who you created, a champion now for the African Deaf qualifiers, and now he's going to the Olympics. We are so proud of what you did, Dan. Keep on doing that. And so after that, campus.
Yeah, after that
did you
I went-
stop playing or?
No, actually, I went to JQuat and I played, and it was great. I was able to get quite some exposure, and it was really helpful. And talk of coaching, actually, I started coaching when I was in JQuat. At times, we had a season that we didn't have a coach, and I would step in and help the team make it through training and the games, and actually just developed a passion for it. Yeah.
So at what point, as player transition from being a player to coaching, how did you decide? What made you decide that I want coaching?
Actually, when I started it while I was in campus, I wasn't so sure. It just an opportunity that came by, and I was like, at first I was a bit nervous. I didn't know how to do it, but I learned just progressively, and it was great. Until then, after campus, when I was at home, I would help with coaching the local teams back at home, and it's just something that it developed with time until in February, when I was approached by the Kajiado team to coach them, which was great for me, and I couldn't think twice. I actually took it up.
And at that time, were you able to communicate with the?
No, actually, at that time, that's when I started learning sign language. So I would take interest, go do research, and also the team members were more than willing to teach me. So I would learn each and every day, and I loved it. So it became a little bit easier because I had the right attitude for it.
Okay. So people, this channel also is always just about inspiring youth as well to get into sports coaching, get into sports, whichever level of sports you want to do, whether it's sports media, whether it's sports management and all these things. You take up each and every opportunity that comes, as our guest speaker today did, and he was able to nurture, you've seen he was able to nurture this as he was growing and getting to get better into the sport. And I can imagine it was really challenging to be able to just start learning the sign languages and all the communication methods for the PWDs, to be able to coach them and train them on a few skills and there. And so far, what were the challenges you experienced?
No, at first, actually, doing the signs, it was a bit. I found a bit of challenge, but I think I had the right attitude. So I would push myself. I would learn even when off the court, and when I would come, I could try it out, and they would teach me, and I just had a positive attitude towards it, and that really helped me.
Nice. How did the team feel when you were, he's getting along,
Actually, they were really happy, and they used to really motivate me to keep learning, and I found it fun actually to do it.
Okay. Yeah. So maybe if you will tell us about PWDs and their participation in sports, more so in Kenya, do they get the support they need in terms of county, in terms of regions, in terms of just the sensitization of the sport? And because I don't know if there's a team in, let me say, like Kipia or different places of the same. What happens to someone who wants to play in the national team and they're from those regions?
Actually, we have, we call them the national selection, which happens like before we went for the Deaf Africa Basketball Qualifiers, we had a nationwide selection. So this involved teams from various counties.
Okay.
Would come together and play a game. So from there, we had a winning team, and also from there, a selection is done for those who will proceed now to form the national team.
Okay.
And so that is what has been happening. So, and this allows people, to not just concentrate on people from one side, but to get an overall, representation from Kenya,
Nice.
from the country, which is good.
Is it enough? Is it adequate in terms of
Actually, more
PWDs?
more should be done, because you'd find they're not being really they're not getting the support that they need. So you'd find those in counties they vary. There's some counties that really support, and there are others that are not really involved. So it's a bit of an imbalance. So you might find those who are not counties that are not being involved, the players may not get the exposure and also take part in the national team because they haven't been able to be given the chance to go through it. Yeah.
Are there any 2 or 3 gaps that you identified that you can just throw out there for people who are willing to come and fill the gaps in terms of operations, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of support of sportsmen and sport ladies who are in the PWD criteria?
I think more needs to be done, because you'll find in most counties the infrastructure that is there is not sufficient enough to support the players and to nurture them through it. So it would be better if the counties would do more, and help them get more exposure, because they really have a heart. And they are more than willing, to grow in their talents and in so many other things. It just more of what they need is just the opportunity. Yeah.
And how can people get you in your socials? That is what you do. You yourself or your team. How can people come and want to engage with them?
Okay. We have the Kajiado Dev basketball team, which we train from within Rongai. So if anyone is willing, you can just contact me. Then I'll be able to give you direction. Or if you need more information on what we are doing and you're interested to join, you can get me through my phone number, which is 0726 654 525.
Once again, maybe
0726 654 525.
Yeah, definitely. And do you guys get to have maybe friendly games with? Do they get to play against? It's a really sensitive topic, and I don't want to use the wrong wordings. Do you have friendlies with other?
Yes, we do. We do. Actually, we've way back we had a team which was participating in the Nairobi Basketball Association League, but due to financial constraints, they were not able to continue. But it was a good exposure, because it was able to expose these people to how these other competitions are done, and so we hope that will be looked into, so that we can continue having that league going on and having our players being part of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So hey, KBF, you guys should be involving. I think that is Kenya Basketball Federation. I think you need to involve at least in every tier of league. If we can have, should it be a policy? If we can have a team a team with PWDs in each tier of the league, Division 2, Division 1, Premier, at least we have them represented there, so that even as they compete in the league, they prepare, and I think will help with the team selection for the national team. What do you think about that policy? Should you people start lobbying for such policies in the leagues?
Yes, there should be inclusivity, which I believe should be looked into, because people have talent. It's just that they lack the exposure to be able to grow in their talents.
Yep.
So I believe more needs to be done with regard to it.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dean. It was a great pleasure having you. And let's continue with this inclusivity in the sports for the PWDs. Let's support them as they go to the Deaf Olympics in Brazil, May 2022. People, don't forget about that. And anything you'd like to tell the youth outside there in terms of sports inspiration, in terms of being able to nurture their talents or the things they're passionate about? If just inspire, talk to a Kenyan youth right now.
I believe you should do what you love, and if you think you're gifted or you have talent in sports, go ahead and take it. Having the right attitude really helps, and knowing what you want to do. So that can be really helpful, and not just doing something for the sake of it. So for the youth who are out there, I would encourage you to look into what you love, and follow your dream.
Yeah, definitely, people. This was nice having you. It's your host, Jermaine Odhiambo, Wima Sports. And indeed, until next time, see you. Leave a comment section down there. Hit the subscribe button. Share this video. You never know which resource you shall channel and bring to the Deaf Olympics team that's preparing for all the Deaf Olympics come May 2022. So share this, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Until next time, Wima Sports. Peace.